Version 1, Jackson 5 Prodigy. Here's something amazing. Imagine being just 5 years old and stepping onto a stage to perform for thousands of people. That's exactly what happened with Michael Jackson when the Jackson 5 took the world by storm. This wasn't just any child performer. This was pure talent in its rawest form. The Jackson 5 became an instant sensation with hits like I Want You Back, A BC, and The Love You Save. These songs didn't just climb the charts, they defined what Motown music could be. And at the center of it all was little Michael, this incredible kid who could sing, dance, and command a stage like performers twice his age. What's really fascinating is how Michael was constantly learning during this time. He watched legends like James Brown and Diana Ross, absorbing their techniques and making them his own. Every performance was like a masterclass in entertainment, and Michael was the star student taking mental notes for his future. Berry Gordy and the Motown team recognized something special in this young boy from Gary, Indiana. They weren't wrong. This era was building the foundation for everything Michael would later become. Those smooth moves, that incredible voice, and that natural stage presence were all developing right before our eyes. The Jackson 5 era wasn't just about cute kids making music, it was Michael Jackson discovering his destiny as the future king of pop. Version 2, Off the Wall. Welcome to the moment when Michael Jackson stepped out of his brother's shadow and said, "Watch me shine on my own." The Off the Wall era was Michael's official declaration that he was ready to conquer the music world as a solo artist. Working with legendary producer Quincy Jones was like watching lightning strike twice. Together they created something absolutely magical, an album that perfectly blended disco, funk, pop, and R&B into pure musical gold. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You weren't just songs. They were invitations to the dance floor that nobody could refuse. This era showed us a more mature Michael Jackson, someone who was finding his unique sound while still keeping that incredible energy we all loved. His voice had developed this amazing richness, and his songwriting skills were really starting to flourish. You could hear the confidence growing with every note he sang. Off the Wall sold over 20 million copies worldwide and proved that Michael Jackson, the solo artist, was going to be something truly special. The album earned him his first Grammy as a solo performer and set the stage for what was coming next. This wasn't just an album. It was Michael Jackson announcing to the world that he was ready to take music to places it had never been before. The foundation was set and something incredible was building. Version 3, Thriller era. Get ready for the era that literally changed everything. When Thriller dropped in November 1982, Michael Jackson didn't just release an album. He created a cultural earthquake that's still being felt today. Billie Jean, Beat It, Thriller, Wanna Be Startin' Something. Every single track was a masterpiece. This wasn't just music anymore. This was Michael Jackson turning into a global phenomenon. The album spent 37 weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200 and became the best-selling album of all time with over 66 million copies sold worldwide. But here's what made this era absolutely legendary: the music videos. The Thriller music video wasn't just a promotional tool, it was a 14-minute horror movie that had everyone glued to their TVs waiting for MTV to play it again. Michael's Moonwalk debut on Motown 25 had the entire world trying to slide backwards in their living rooms. This era established Michael as the undisputed king of pop. He broke down racial barriers, dominated every chart imaginable, and proved that great music could unite people across all backgrounds. Thriller wasn't just successful, it was a cultural moment that defined the entire decade of the 1980s. Michael Jackson had officially become more than an artist. He was now a global icon whose influence extended far beyond music into fashion, dance, and popular culture itself. Version 4, Bad Era. Talk about pressure. How do you follow up the best-selling album of all time? Michael Jackson's answer was simple. You create bad and prove that lightning can strike twice. The Bad era was Michael at his most confident and edgy. Gone was the young man from Thriller. This was Michael Jackson as a seasoned superstar who knew exactly what he wanted to say. The title track Bad had him channeling his inner rebel, complete with leather jackets and that iconic buckle-covered outfit that became legendary. Smooth Criminal, The Way You Make Me Feel, Man in the Mirror, Dirty Diana. This album was packed with hits that showcase Michael's incredible range. He could make you dance, make you think, and make you feel all at the same time. The Bad World Tour became the highest-grossing solo tour by any artist at that time. What's amazing about this era is how Michael pushed his artistry even further. The music videos became even more cinematic. Smooth Criminal with that gravity-defying lean, Bad, filmed in an actual subway station, each one a mini-movie that set new standards for visual storytelling. Bad sold over 35 million copies worldwide and produced 5 #1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100, a record that still stands today. This era proved that Michael Jackson wasn't just a one-album wonder. He was a consistent hitmaker who could reinvent himself while staying true to his artistic vision. Version 5, Dangerous. Welcome to Michael Jackson's most experimental and ambitious phase. The Dangerous era saw the King of Pop collaborating with new Jack Swing producer Teddy Riley, creating a sound that was both futuristic and deeply rooted in rhythm and blues. Black or White, Remember the Time, In the Closet, Jam. These tracks showed Michael embracing new sounds while maintaining his signature style. The Dangerous album was darker, more complex, and showcased Michael's growth as both an artist and a social commentator. Songs like Black or White addressed racial harmony, while Heal the World became an anthem for global unity. This era was also marked by some of the most spectacular music videos ever created. Black or White featured groundbreaking morphing technology that had everyone talking, while Remember the Time was a lavish Egyptian-themed production starring Eddie Murphy and Magic Johnson. Each video was an event in itself. The Dangerous World Tour was absolutely mind-blowing. Michael's stage productions became even more elaborate, featuring incredible pyrotechnics, stunning choreography, and that famous lean from Smooth Criminal performed live. The tour played to over 3.5 million fans across the globe. Despite facing personal challenges during this time, Michael's artistic output remained incredibly strong. Dangerous sold over 32 million copies worldwide and proved that Michael could evolve his sound while staying relevant in a rapidly changing music landscape. This era showed Michael Jackson as a mature artist, unafraid to take risks and push boundaries. Version 6, History Era. The History Era was Michael Jackson at his most personal and defiant. Coming after years of intense media scrutiny, this double album was part greatest hits collection, part emotional confession, and it was powerful. Scream featuring Janet Jackson wasn't just a duet. It was Michael's raw response to media persecution, and it became one of the most expensive music videos ever made. You Are Not Alone showed his vulnerable side, becoming his first song to debut at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Earth Song was Michael's passionate plea for environmental awareness and social justice. This era showcased Michael as more than an entertainer. He was an activist, a philosopher, and someone who wasn't afraid to speak his truth. The History album dealt with themes of media manipulation, social injustice, and personal pain, but also hope and love. It was Michael Jackson wearing his heart on his sleeve. The History World Tour was absolutely massive. 82 concerts across 58 cities, attended by over 4.5 million fans. The staging was incredible, featuring military-inspired imagery and some of the most elaborate productions ever seen. Michael's performances during this era were emotionally charged and deeply moving. Despite the controversy surrounding him, History sold over 20 million copies worldwide, proving that Michael's artistic voice was still incredibly powerful. This era showed Michael Jackson as a complex artist who could channel personal struggle into universal messages of hope and change. Version 7, Invincible. After a 6-year break, Michael Jackson returned with Invincible. his final studio album that showed he could still innovate and surprise his fans. This era was all about Michael proving he remained relevant in the new millennium while dealing with a changing music industry. You Rock My World, Butterflies, and Break of Dawn demonstrated Michael's ability to adapt to contemporary R&B sounds while maintaining his distinctive style. Working with producers like Rodney Jerkins, Michael created music that felt both modern and timeless. His voice had matured beautifully, showing incredible depth and emotion. What made this era fascinating was seeing Michael as a perfectionist who spent years crafting every detail of the album. He was deeply involved in every aspect of production, from the intricate vocal arrangements to the innovative sound effects. Invincible showcased Michael's incredible attention to detail and his commitment to musical excellence. The album debuted at #1 in multiple countries and featured some of Michael's most sophisticated songwriting. Tracks like Whatever Happens and Don't Walk Away showed his growth as a storyteller, while 2000 Watts proved he could still create infectious dance tracks. Although this era was marked by legal battles with his record label and limited promotion, Invincible sold over 6 million copies worldwide. It represented Michael Jackson as a mature artist who refused to compromise his artistic vision, even when facing industry pressures. This era showed that Michael's creative spirit remained unbreakable no matter what challenges he faced. Version 8. This Is It, An Eternal Legacy. The final chapter of Michael Jackson's incredible journey was both heartbreaking and inspiring. The This Is It era was meant to be Michael's triumphant return to the stage, a series of 50 concerts at London's O2 Arena that would have been his goodbye to live performance. During rehearsals for This Is It, we saw Michael at 50 years old still moving with that same magic, still hitting those incredible notes, still perfecting every detail. The behind-the-scenes footage showed a dedicated artist who remained passionate about his craft until the very end. He was working on new arrangements of classic songs and developing fresh choreography that would have blown audiences away. Tragically, Michael passed away on June 25, 2009, just weeks before the concerts were set to begin. But what emerged from this tragedy was something beautiful. This Is It became a celebration of Michael's artistry and a reminder of his incredible talent. The documentary and soundtrack showed the world that Michael Jackson's creative spirit was as strong as ever. This era transformed into something much bigger, Michael's eternal legacy. His influence continues to inspire new generations of artists, dancers, and musicians. His humanitarian work through songs like Heal the World and Earth Song remains relevant today. His revolutionary music videos continue to set standards for visual creativity. From that 5-year-old boy with the Jackson 5 to the king of pop who changed music forever, Michael Jackson's story is one of pure talent, incredible dedication, and lasting impact that will continue for generations to come. Which version of Michael Jackson touched your heart the most? Share your favorite era in the comments and let us know which legendary artist should get the version vault treatment next.